signature. And the pen's mine, so get on with it.
Well, I suppose I should say something. I find it irresistible.
Stand on the stool now.
I can't stand on the stool nowadays. What is significant, I think, about today, if I can be slightly serious, is that it seems to me that it wouldn't really have mattered had I been here or not. It seems to me that all the people here are getting on so well together that the one thing we share in our background is a sense of being the ultimate anarchist. And I think all the anarchists are not in Spain, they're in here. I'm delighted to see you all. For a moment I was completely baffled. I had no idea this sort of thing was taking place. None whatsoever. And I have to say that, well, you can imagine I've enjoyed it enormously. I've never felt so important in all my life. And I'm seeing here people in all walks of life, and you're coloured by your background. You're coloured from where we were together at that time. And I must say that for all of you from Sherborne School, of course you're here as much for Andrew Stoop. He was a revelation to me. Of course, when I went to Sherborne, I thought I was at the end of my career and I was being put out to grass. That I would, well, not literally, but I thought I'd relax with a few people doing fine art. The state system had changed significantly. You had big art and design departments. I mean, woodwork teachers could get top jobs in schools, and that really didn't do for me. And so I decided reluctantly to go to Sherborne, particularly after we'd had a general inspection in which the inspector noted that I'd run the place a bit like a dictator. So it was time to move on. Sherborne School had one boy when I arrived in the art school, Basher Wade's brother. Basher Wade played rugby, and everybody in the school played rugby. And I remember going into the art school the first morning I was there, and Basher's brother came in. He was a sixth form student, and he had a double-breasted blue jacket on. And he said to me, sir. So I said, yes, I'm waiting for the others. And he looked at me, he said, yes, I said, I'll begin the lesson when the others arrive. And he's going, and he's pacing around. And I said, well, you know, the others are obviously late. He said, sir, I'm the only one. I said, you're the only one? I said, I've made a dreadful mistake. I said, this is terrible. And he said, sir, he said, can I ask you a question? He said, when do you think I'll be ready to work in pastel? And I said, oh dear. I said, I don't think we're ever going to reach that stage. However, as you know, the art school grew and grew and grew. And it grew, of course, because of this wonderful man, Andrew. Andrew connected with you all. And when he arrived, he came along and I said to him, well, what have you got, Andrew, you know, to show the headmaster? He'll want to see some work. He said, oh, nothing. So came as he said, I said, well, really? And it was 12 o'clock, nearly midday. I said, well, let's go down to the Digby Tap. You're a very nice chap. I said, but the headmaster's not going to think very kindly if you haven't got any student examples of your work. He said, oh, it's not important. So I said, anyway, we got out to his car, which was outside, his mum's Hillman Inn. And he got into the driving seat, and with a sweep of his skinny arm, he got it in front of the passenger seat and threw over into the back a whole bonfire display of sketchbooks, and they went flying in the back seat. There aren't seats in a Hillman Inn, but there's a small sort of seat in the back, sure. And it was filled with sketchbooks. The footwells, the seat, and I got in the car, and I said, "What are these? What are these?" He said, "Oh, just sketchbooks." So I said, "Well, do you mind if I have a look at one?" He said, "No, what's up?" And I don't think he'd passed his test at the time. And, anyway, he did a 3-point turn in Apron Street. And I nearly didn't manage to look at the drawings. But I opened the first page, and there was Giacometti, if I'd ever seen him in my life. He had spatial drawings, and page after page. And before we got to the Digby Tap, I said to him, "Andrew, you'll have to work with me." I said, "Because you will allow me to have a rebirth." And it's true. He taught me to look again at every aspect of modernity in painting. And, he was just such a great chap to have in the last 20 years of your teaching. Couldn't have been better. And you're here as much for him as you are for me.
Yeah. And it's true.